It's true. We've had some struggles the past year with Lahontan, but this company also was formed through fantastic, beautiful relationships of my past successes, of friends and colleagues in this industry. This company was formed in 2020, where I threw in 2 of my private assets in Nevada, and Victoria Gold put in one of theirs, which is the beautiful Santa Fe mine, and I feel privileged to have this asset. It absolutely is my favorite asset I've ever had in my career. I got into this business because I made a 30-bagger in 4 months from a friend of mine's company, knowing nothing about this industry, and I just couldn't get enough of it, and now I've been in the industry for 17 years. I've been on the debt side. I've formed many companies. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and, I'm here working in Nevada, one of the best jurisdictions. He is right. Utah just outbeat Nevada, but between the two, I think we're looking pretty good there. So here's where we sit today. We have a strong insider ownership between Merck Capital Extract, EMA, which is Larry Lepar that just came in on our last financing in a big position. I'm very excited to have him on board. I think a lot of people follow his story. He's a very smart man and has written a book, and he talks a lot about our industry. He's a great ambassador for us, so we're very excited to have that. About 52% of ownership is in the hands of myself or these people here that I'm speaking of. So great ownership. Right now, we are busy trying to get new retail shareholders so they can, get in why the stock is at such a good price. We just changed out the board quite a bit to reflect the development side of the story because I don't believe in paying for lots of upper management when I can get them to be on my board and give me great advice on a board level. So we just got Shane Williams on board, who, as you guys probably all know, runs West Red Lake, doing fantastic. Max is from capital market side of things, and Evans, just this great guy on the ground building mines. So we're very fortunate to add these people to the team. So let's just talk about the assets. Yeah, we have 3 great assets in the Walker Lane. They're all down the street from each other. The Santa Fe is our flagship asset. It's got 1.95 million ounces right now. It's continued to grow. We have West Santa Fe, which is going to be a satellite operation in the future, low-cost project we picked up for $1.8 million. It's a 7-year back-ended option agreement. So low cost, it's a look-alike to Santa Fe. It's only 13 kilometers away. So this project can be a home run even if we proved out 500,000 ounces because it's just simply a bolt-on and very low cost to put into production. Moho is a special high-grade gold and silver vein system that I drilled out in my private company. It's 25 grams gold, up to 600 silver. It's just fantastic. We're not getting to this project this year because we've got a lot on our plate with permitting Santa Fe, drilling, etc. So, of course, Nevada is a great place to be, but where we are in particular is one of the driest parts of Nevada. So when you're doing all these lovely studies that cost a fortune to permit a mine, they're looking for, all the bugs and bunnies out there, and we're fortunate they're not finding those things. So great place to be and work. The town of Hawthorne is where we have our warehouse operations. It's only 30 kilometers away from Santa Fe and just down the road to our other projects. So as far as working there, it's fantastic for our team to be able to commute to this location. Right now, I've got 30 undergrad students from Sac State out touring our project, of which I wish I was there to see their faces seeing an open pit for the first time, but it's nice to be able to give back that way. Okay, so as a past producer, it's considered a mine under closure. We have a $500,000 bond on the property, which means we have to do quarterly monitoring on our wells. We have 3 wells on the property. We have a substation on the property, which was put in back in the day when they mined it from 1988 to 1994 by Corona Gold. So we have everything in place to really put this back into production, which allows us to skip a lot of the steps, if you will, when it comes to the permitting process. So we've got a nice sized land package here, 26.5 square kilometers. it's continuing to grow as we speak. You can just see over in the corner there, the York pit is growing off our property, so I'm picking up some more ground there as we can't report what we really have here. We currently have 1.95 million ounces. You can see most of it is in indicated. We're going to have a drill rig out next couple weeks to be doing some targeted drilling as we put out our PEA in December, and we have some questions to answer that will help identify where the system's going in certain areas here that I'll talk about in a minute. But you can see the chart on the left. We have the second highest grade of gold, just when you're on a gold basis, of any other project that's open pit in Nevada. So grade does matter. That's a good thing. The highest one that you see on that chart is Gold Bar, McEwen's mine, but they also have very high cash costs. So you trade out a little bit for things like that. So historically, I think Corona did a fantastic job. They were mining when gold was $350, for goodness sakes, and somehow making money. They produced about 400,000 ounces of gold, 710,000 ounces of silver. So good grades, good numbers, but they got taken out by Homestake, and just the economics didn't allow them to keep going. But now certainly the economics work in our favor, which means they left a lot of gold and silver behind. I love this picture because it really tells you everything you need to know. There's no people out there. There's no First Nations for us to be having to talk to. No one lives anywhere near this area. You can see the substation there, the beautiful road access. In the front part of the slide, you see the slab Calvada complex, which are some of the historic pits on the property. They're very small. I call them little pitlets. They were mined at the end of mine life. There's virtually no strip in this area. They were just looking for the next shovel of gold and silver back in the day, but it certainly is the low-hanging fruit that we've been finding lots more beautiful oxide gold and silver. We put out a PEA in December 11th. This was very back-end loaded engineering-wise because we are in the middle of permitting this mine back into production. So we need a lot of important specifics. This is a first pass, and this was done at 1950 pit constrained model. So obviously, once we run this model, we'll be picking up a lot more ounces that we don't talk about at this point in this document. But low strip, 1.6 project wide. Most of that is over at Santa Fe, which is the largest pit on the property, about 90 meters deep. The CapEx is $135 million. That's with the 20% contingency. That will be coming down in the next round of this PEA. Payback is 2.9 years. That's including the build out. So it's really more like 2 years. And it's a low cash cost operation at $1,233 on this chart. I do believe it's going to come down. Our neighbor Isabella Pearl does it. Mines for under $1,000 an ounce. So all things that we're looking at right now to improve these numbers, to really get a good model, because at the end of the day, we're looking at breaking ground in 2027, and we're all going to blink our eyes and be there. We need to have sharp numbers. Right now, it's an 8-year project life, 50,000 ounces a year, 200 million MPV5. IRR is fantastic at 34%. And life of mine, 931 million. This is just our first pass on this, you guys. So I just want to talk a little bit about why we've been forcing this into production. A couple years ago, I looked at my geologist and I said, do we have enough for a mine here, guys? Because the markets are terrible. We can either drill or we can permit. We can't do both. There's just not enough money to go around in a crazy market that we've seen the past few years. And we ran these models ourselves and said, yeah, we can be mining this right now, like a decent amount. So we pushed that button over 2.5 years ago now because I am a business person. I am not an engineer. I want to drill out how big this project can be through our own cash flow dollars. I believe in doing it as a normal business. So that's why we went down that path. We will be going into the NEPA phase quite soon. And again, we'll be breaking ground in early 2027 at this point. So just a little bit about the resource, the slab Calvada complex, that little pitlet area I was showing you. We'll be bringing a rig out in the middle of June, focused on the northern end of the deposit because we see our highest grades there and also much more mineralization to be found here. And then we'll be moving on to Target B, which is filling in some gaps for the resource and bringing in some of the inferred into the indicated category, all focused in and around of what we need to accomplish for our updated PEA at the end of this year. This is just a side view of pulling down that pit. Again, we only are reporting at 1950. We know once we redo this model with whatever the trailing average is going to be at the end of the year, we're going to see a lot bigger portfolio of numbers here. Permitting. So we're doing an exploration permit and a mine permit at the same time. We're permitting 12.2 square kilometers. Everything you see in yellow in the top left-hand corner here. This is all the bugs and money studies that we've been doing. We took the same footprint for the mine plan. Reason being is it keeps us under a 640 acres, which means we can do this as an EA versus EIS. You'll notice that you'll see a second heap leach pad on the outside of it that we will go for a mine expansion later on. But this cuts off about 9 months of comments and permitting. So we'll play the game, get it done, and then go immediately for an expansion on this. So right now we'll be going into NEPA for the plan of operations the next couple weeks. So since Trump's come in, I'm surprised how much has helped us. They brought more people from the state level down to our specific office that has been pushing this through and meeting with us every couple weeks, which is, just fantastic. So lots of progress. I can't talk about this West Santa Fe project, but I'm running out of time. But come see me. And it's awesome to see how many people are here learning about these stories, because I totally agree with what he says. We are going to be running to the races to get things permitted as fast as we can with this new administration. And of course, he's in a great jurisdiction too. So thank you for your guys' time.